something. Yeah.
So, welcome to part two of the first discussion, which hopefully the title will be in the front because I literally forgot what we are talking about. Joking. So you saying that you reported something to the police, or you were saying that it's okay. Is it okay though? Like literally, I mean, at this point of time, because it's been a while, you can say it's probably okay because over having to get over it, you've had to get over it versus how you felt at the time. So, you know, um, history has always shown that someone has to take the brunt of everything for things to change. Unfortunately, that's how it goes. But the thing is, and how you feel, and I don't think it was okay. I don't think. I think when things aren't investigated properly, you lose trust for things. Not
Yeah.
saying that you trusted it in the first place, but if you get opportunity where well it's opportunity when you get an opportunity to have to involve the police into something, you would like to be heard, that your voice is heard, and
Yeah.
people value you for you, not for anybody else, for you, because 99.9 of the time everything can be okay, but if it's less than the 1% for you, then it's not okay, because all you're going to do is have your bad feelings about the situation. So, you know, um, do you feel that, you know, um, they did enough for you in your case? Do you feel that when when they have a discussion and say, "Oh, there's going to be undercover police at these events," do you care to even know that? Because really and truly, if people are trying to look out for your safety, they should look out for your safety. They shouldn't say, "This is what's going to be there," because
Yeah.
now you feel like you're not going to go there. Like in your mind, you would be like, "Yeah, I'm going to enjoy myself," but now you feel even more like, "Okay, you know, I'm not going to go to this event now because there's going to be the chances of percentage of this may be happening to me. This might be one out of a million that this has happened to this lady that got murdered, but you know what this one murder's done is it's going to make people do research on how many times it's happened. You know, how many other things in the system that will make someone feel that, you know, if I get stopped by this police, is it going to be this person, or is it going to be this person? Is it going to be this person? Am I going to, you know, feel like I can trust the police even more? And even for those that have never trusted the police, because really and truly, all it takes for you to have a bad um, a bad experience for you to feel a way about them. Like with anything, a bad experience. It's a bit like
Mm.
if you don't like dogs, you're not gonna go to somewhere with dogs. You're gonna go away. And if you go to a club and find out there's gonna undercuff the police, especially, I'm not gonna say feminists, but especially people that have not had a lot of experience around men, or had the wrong experience with men, they're not gonna feel even more to go to places. They're gonna feel like, you know, I ain't gonna stay in my bubble, and I'm not gonna experience what I like to experience, which is life, because they have to worry about um, the chances of that one in a million being me. I'm just talking in a perspective as a female, not me and me being a guy. Um, you know, am I going to be heard? You know, like, how long did it take to be comfortable on knowing that you have to get over it yourself? Not because you wanted to get over it, but you have to get over it because if you don't, a little part of you dies because
Mm.
you're worrying about something that may come and may not come. And I guess in a way, some of you would die because you have faith in something to the point that you got to get rid of that part of you to sort of move on. But anyway, it's not about me. It's about you.
No, I think that's a good point. I mean, me personally, I'm one of those that I mean, it's not like a straight away thing where it's like, oh, it's fine, it's done now. But it was more just, um, I mean, I wanted my stuff back because my portfolio was in there, and
Yeah.
then it was also all my notes. So I had to start my project again, and it was my portfolio was like every single picture I'd taken for the last few years. From the first time I got my camera, it was literally just I just want my portfolio back.
Mhm.
If you're that desperate for my money, fine. Just yeah, I don't know how they got into my account
Mhm.
that quickly as well, but it was more just I just want my stuff back really. But then if I can, then what was a bit upsetting was that I couldn't see the CCTV, whereas I've seen other cases where they'll show the victim the CCTV. Is this what the person looks like or whatever? So it was I was always questioning why. Why can't I see it? Am I is there some sort of disbelief if I give you a different statement? At the time I hadn't. But then they came to uni and then I gave my statement. So what's the problem here? So I just thought, okay, I'm just gonna put as much trust as I can in this. But also let me just continue to keep myself strong. Otherwise I probably will either lose it or won't be able to handle it or something like that. But I
Yeah.
thought, no, it's fine. Let me just continue with my education and on the side, whatever needs to be sorted, I hope will get sorted.
Yeah.
And but then yeah, when the case was closed, it was more of okay, I suppose that's all they can do. But so then I just thought, well, I hope this doesn't happen to somebody else because behind our campus was also a primary school,
Mhm.
so there's lots of people around. And um, I mean, I don't live in Shepherd's Bush, but you know, in the evening it can get dangerous as well. So
Mhm.
my mind was more, well, I hope this doesn't happen to somebody else. The person
Yeah.
was clearly watching me on the train because I was really tired and maybe the seizure was happening then. And all that. I do remember somebody asking me, do you need help there? And then after that, that was about it.
Yeah.
Um, and then until when I was at the ticket barrier and I was leaving, I was like, oh, wait, oh, where's my bags? And
Yeah.
then that's where I was like, that person's taking it. And so then that's where it was like, yeah. So then I asked the ticket guy, the guy at the ticket barrier, and she said he asked me, "Am I okay?" He probably did, but that was probably when I was coming round.
Yeah.
So I probably said, "Yeah, I'm fine." But then other than that, there wasn't really much. He didn't really seem that bothered.
Yeah.
And same with when my tutor came back as well. Um, Again, he didn't really seem that bothered. Whether it's because I was a woman, I don't know. I'm not going to bring in other things there, but yeah, even that where
But
they're even a type of
you can br-
security.
you can bring in other things because you have to say it on your how you feel, and
Mm.
it doesn't mean that that's factual. It just means how you feel. So, all you can do is think about situations where it might have been different because of something else, and if they just dismissed it, you feel how you feel. So, say how you feel on it. You know.
Well, I mean, whether it was because because I know when I'm walking up or down the stairs while having a seizure, it's not. I'm not going to be walking straight.
Yeah.
I probably will be either holding on to a barrier, trying to get down, or I mean, I don't know. I have to. If somebody's around, I'll ask them. Oh, was I all right there? Because sometimes it's happened in public, and a police officer has spotted me
Yeah.
asking, "Am I okay?" One of them asked me, "Do you need help to your?" This was a different campus, but it was like 2 minutes away. So I was like, "No, it's fine. I'm actually running late."
Yeah.
And another police officer did actually um, go all the way home, well, all the way to my last stop, and then waited until my mum came for me to get home, for me to get home safely. But then when I think when the guy in the ticket barrier, like in general, he didn't seem that bothered. He was just sitting there like whether he's just waiting for something to happen or he was just totally bored.
Yeah.
So whether it was because I'm a woman, whether it's because I'm black, whether it's because I looked wasted or drunk instead of
Yeah.
having a seizure, because people can really mistake that
Mhm.
a lot of the time. And even when my tutor, like I said, even when my tutor came back, it was explaining more. It was more like, no, sorry, we can't. No, sorry, we can't. And he just kept flicking back to whatever he was looking at or
Yeah.
reading. And so I just thought, okay, that's not very helpful, but thanks anyway. And yeah, for a while I was a bit frustrated because I was more, oh, I'm really sorry, I don't have any work to show you. And she was like, oh, don't worry.
Yeah.
It's not about that. I mean, my tutors were amazing. They helped me sort out my work and everything like that again and pass my projects. But I think in terms of the security side and finding who it was, I suppose more could have been done because train stations will have CCTV as well,
Yeah.
and so I'm sure they would have seen it as they could have checked it at some point. And then also where the ATM where they took my money, there's actually a camera next to it because it was next to a Tesco's. So then there you've got another image of the person to them. But there just didn't seem that much of a connection. I don't know whether they were doing their job well enough. I mean, I'm not in that service to know, but it definitely took a while. And even with me giving them my information that, oh, I actually found out from my bank it was this ATM.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was really like, wow, they got in that quickly because I know where the ATM is at the end of my campus road.
Yeah.
Again, in the seizure, whether I given them my PIN code or not, I don't know, but pretty quick as well.
Yeah.
So then that's where I was like, yeah, that's where I thought, is that not something that would sort of trigger them? Is this thief a professional or whatever? Are they going to put in more activity to sort this out? And I think that's where, like I said, that's where people can get scared to actually report something. Are they going to take it seriously? Are they going to go in deeper until they sort this out? Until they find everything that they need and stuff like that. And then that's where, after a while, not that I gave up, but I just thought, I suppose as much as whatever's done has been done, or whatever they found out has been sorted, and if that's all the information they have, okay, I understand. But I didn't want to sort of like put myself down, like, and think that, oh, they failed or something like that, because that will probably bring me down more than getting angry at them.
Yeah.
So I just thought, well, I'm not going to give. I mean, I don't need my university notes after 4 years, but I won't get my pictures back. But there's other memories around here anyway, and then I just thought, just carry on. And I mean, I've seen other stories of I don't know if there's a program called what's it called? Oh, I've forgotten, but it's about people with disabilities who've been attacked and trolled and stuff like that. And a lady that I know was actually interviewed on there, and she was just in a pit having a picnic with her husband, and she heard these two guys say, "I dare you to kick that midget," which isn't a good word for somebody who's very short with dwarfism.
Yeah.
And I just thought, wow, really? And they actually did it, and she ended up in hospital. And for ages she was so scared to go out. But then also she actually said to me that she didn't feel like she got much support from the police, as you would expect, because somebody just kicked her literally because of her disability. I mean, nobody should be getting attacked anyway.
Yeah.
Innocently. But then you think that you would try more would be done to find these people, because they could be going around seeing the people like those people could be going around thinking, no, if you've got disability, you're useless. And another friend who I have with dwarfism, similar thing. She heard them screaming across the road, midget, while she was just going to um get something from Tesco's, and then they
Hmm.
came in and went right up to her and started filming her,
Yeah.
like right in her face. And I was thinking, I said to her, "Don't, you have all the evidence there." She managed to film him as well to get
Yeah.
his face. I said, "You have all the evidence there. You better take that to the police because that's unfair. If the supermarket shop security won't, then take that to the police because that's not fair. That's invading your privacy. That's invading your space." And I mean, I don't know what was going through that guy's head to do that, but I just thought, and she just said, oh, "I don't know at the moment. I'm very that just made me so weak for a moment." And then I don't know if she has gone to the police, but now she's more like speaking her words. And,
Bless you.
and
I,
again, it's just like, education, people, please.
I think what it is that you know, yeah, we can hope that everyone is educated and everyone goes out to take education and understands the world, but it goes down to the system of having the TV, the radio station, advertisements, everything's been shown as educating people about certain things. Like I don't know if there's a disabled day, but I know there's a Black History Month. I know there's a Woman Independence Day. I know there's a Mother's Day. I think I think the only way things are going to change is if they implement putting things out there to
Yeah,
see why and see where people um, see things from another point of view. Because
yeah,
I think that I think um, I think everything that you said shouldn't have happened. Like I
mm,
don't think anyone should be calling anyone names or making someone feel uncomfortable. But at the same time, I think there needs to be more data out there for people to kind of have an idea where someone feels
yeah,
about that situation. You know, um, how people can have empathy. I think you can only have empathy if you can have example of how to work with or where that person's coming from, or because at that point of time, you know, I would only assume that the people that did it thought they were having a laugh, which isn't a good thing
yeah,
anyway. It's not a good thing anyway, but at the same
no,
time, they should know that they shouldn't be thinking about that. Like,
yeah,
just to think that you're having a laugh on someone else's thing, they shouldn't think about it because really and truly, I'm sure if this person had a 6 foot, 7 foot tall person in their life, bold as ever, and that person beat the living daylights out of that person, I think they would feel a way about that and feel like, oh, this person should have done that to me, you know. But no one should have to go through something like that to have empathy. And
mm,
when you talk about police being able to do the jobs, I think there's a lot of training in the system, which we've already showed with the education of the lecturers in the schools or universities, the underground system of transport, of education of safety and how people may have a going through a seizure or any condition. There needs to be education on it. Um, just like um, if there's a case that they can't sort out, there should be an education on it saying, at least, you know, we will keep looking. Whether they
yeah,
do or not, but just to know the idea of someone looking for something leaves
mm,
the idea of hope for somebody. And hope is all that you might just need more than anything else. You
yeah,
know, you
very true.
even if they say, "Oh, we've not heard anything back," you still got the idea of hope, and the hope will move forward. Everyone's not strong enough to move away from a situation and go, "You know what? Like, I'm okay with this." The only
Mm,
reason you were okay with it because you probably have a strong background of people that have taught you to live on strength. So you carry on. You just carry on, or you fade away, or you let someone else win, which other people term it on. But I think with the whole system of, you know, people say, oh, in 2021, you shouldn't go, like, people shouldn't go for this. I don't think anyone should go for it longer than they have to go for it. But
Mm.
when, or even have to go for it, as a statement as it is. But I believe that there has to be big change. The movement has to be a big change, not small steps, big change, statement changes, you know, and if they've not got the funding for it, you make statement changes from people that can. You know,
Yeah.
we all hear about this lavish life that everyone's living. A big percentage of people are living more than their generations can ever live with the money they have, and spending it literally, like there's no tomorrow. There should be some sort of, you know, let's say for instance, a someone with money that's got a big name for themselves, and they've they've got a speeding ticket or whatever. There should be a cap on that. Like, you don't pay the fine. It's more than that. You can't drive these big cars anymore. You can drive still, but you can't drive these big cars anymore. You are rejected from having them. You know, you can buy an old model of the car, but you can't buy the new model of the car. And what you have to do is you have to put your money into some sort of development on making change. You know, I don't know if that, someone might say you might get statue or you might get written in the history for doing it. And to be honest, I mean, even that alone is something that you got to educate someone about. Someone might feel like, I don't want to be in the books, blah blah blah. But you've got examples of people that have done and where they are now. You're not
Mm.
going to be a footballer forever. You're not going to be a presenter forever. You're not going to do this
Yeah.
forever. Leave a legacy for yourself on doing something.
Yeah.
So there should be something there to um, bring in a legacy for people that may have not thought about legacy as a penalized thing, but it's not really a penalized thing because you're doing a better thing for the change of the world. Because as we know, in each case, there's gonna be some sort of problem. Always gonna be some, even those that may seem like they that have a problem like others. They're always gonna be someone that says, "Oh, but I've not making enough money as him," or "She's not as strong as her," or "But he lives in there." There's always gonna be something. So it's about having a cap on, you make a certain amount of money, start complaining about something that you've done, the mistake you've made, you know, goes back to a fund to change these things, because really and truly, there's nothing that someone can say that's gonna make you feel comfortable about um, the places where you're supposed to feel safe that get
Mm.
violated to a point where you don't feel safe, because you know, when once hope's there and then hope's been taken away, you can't go back and go, oh, I'm still gonna have hope on something when it's been proven that the hope that you had for that thing isn't the same, and now you've got to kind of be like, but it's not him, but it may be him. It's not him, but it may be him, and
Mm.
you're constantly doing that. And the easiest thing to do is stay at home, and then you're depressed because you're not living life because of the situation of the title to that person that did whatever he did. I
Mm.
won't say
I
whatever
think
he did.
that, yeah, because I think um that's a good point. So I mean, yeah, another thing is change and awareness and stuff like that. And it's I mean, like I where was it was um oh, who was it? Okay, I'm bad on cricketers' names anyway, but
Mm.
he's a former um cricket legend. Now he's a TV presenter, and I remember seeing a bit of it because I had to leave, but seeing a bit of his documentary and him talking about his mental health and stuff like that. And then they were actually thing on This Morning one time. They showed an exhibition of how many guys are taking their lives, I think, each year or each month or something like
Hmm.
that. And the numbers were quite shocking. And then they were also saying how, um, like, I mean, I'm a guy, so I don't know, but how they were saying that, the reason why I'm saying this because there was like a not a comparison, but
Yeah.
women will talk, whereas the man can sort of keep quiet about it and keep it in. And I mean, me sometimes I can keep loads of things in. Sometimes I'll let it out. And but I think if we can all even like as you say change, if we can all start talking, like how ITV puts on their programs once in a while, Britain get talking.
Mm.
If we all just start talking, um, yeah, in general, then things will happen. If you show more things like this, whether I feel safe or not. Sorry, my hair's itchy today. if if you bring in things like this, whether I can talk about it or not, or sorry, whether I feel safe or not, then I think that's a step forward. And if they have to repeat it 20 times, or say like if it was recorded, if they have to repeat it 20 times for it to be heard, then you know let that get in there. But I think like what you were saying um with maybe there needs to be a step up in like a
Change.
charge or yeah or something like that. Like instead of having all your nice cars, you're gonna get the Ford. You can only buy the Ford vehicle from 1994 or something like
Yeah.
that. To bring it down, if that needs to be like some sort of charge or punishment, then bring that in. And I think that if um I suppose if we can support each other as well, like yeah, everyone just start supporting each other more. Say what's on your mind. Because I mean, I remember when I think loads of people were coming forward about being harassed in the office or in their workplaces. Sorry, not just offices. But then also workers were owning up to touching their colleague's leg or stroking their face or something like that. And I think a few MPs actually quit because of that.
Mm.
And but then also a few women um, came forward and also said he didn't really do anything wrong. I mean, they didn't. They technically didn't sense anything there, but I suppose the MP felt bad about it, felt guilty about it, thought he had to play his role, and you know it's best for me to leave instead of keeping it here, which I actually thought that was a step forward. I mean, I wouldn't want anyone to lose their job for not necessarily something they've done to me, but if I technically don't feel anything for it, then don't risk your
Yeah.
job over something you might have done because even just like yeah just tapping my knee or something like that.
Yeah, but it's education. I mean, and
Yeah.
there's never enough education that someone can say that, I'm not going to be educated anymore. I think
Mm,
there's a boundary, and I think that even then when you work with someone, you should know what the boundary is. And
yeah.
if you're doing something and not know where the boundary is, then you know you will find yourself in a situation where you either done something that you should have done, or you will feel guilty for something that you later on be educated about, which is okay for somebody else. I mean,
Mm,
not the same play, not the same person is the same. Not two people are the same people. So, you know, it's a situation where you always be in the dark about something if you don't talk about it, if you're not educated about it, if you don't know a lot of what's happening, because there is a lot of things that are happening which in this world we don't all know about, and the only way we're going to know about it is if there's education and
yeah.
instead of I mean, don't get me wrong, GMTV with their thing about Britain Talk, but people can talk, but it don't mean that everyone's ready to listen to what everyone's got to say.
Yeah, that's true.
And the point of view is like you can have where you're just talking about the MP doing something to somebody and being accused for. You can have two people talking, and one think it's okay, and one doesn't think it's okay. So it's a bit like a coin, both sides, or even a diamond that has so many different sides that you know um, it's someone's perspective and how they feel. It even goes down to you know Piers Morgan last week, or was it the week before, talking about Kate, or having a view to say that you can have yours but I can have mine.
Yeah.
and
Well,
and
a lot of people don't like him at the moment.
well, I mean, for me, it's not even like I think people should be judged on the moves that they make, and I think they
Mm,
should be judged on the the um the values that they have, but also of how they treat other people. Because for
yeah,
me,
'cause I think that's the thing he's not completely aware of.
yeah,
He likes to get his voice in, but then I see the way he stops Susanna quite a lot.
mhm.
And then also with, sorry, 1 second. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. I'm talking at the moment. So,
It's all right, no worries.
like I've seen the way, yeah, sometimes he'll stop Susanna, or even when the other news lady all of a sudden, oh my gosh, spring is here, and he was commenting on her dress,
Yeah,
or saying that's a skirt. It's quite short, but spring is here. But then I was like,
yeah,
they're actually allowing that to be aired. Well, I mean,
yeah,
it's live, but then it was like, okay. I mean, in a way, I could see the laughter. I mean, she was just laughing and defending herself anyway. And then it was like, oh wow.
but it's the right. It's the right. The fact that
Mm,
someone feels that they have the right to do it, and
yeah,
someone else will might feel that they're uncomfortable about it, but they might go like it's easier to just sweep it underneath the carpet than to make it a
yeah,
big thing because you know you lose the flow or the point of whatever's being discussed. But even then, it's like sometimes even making a point of what someone said is making a big enough statement that should change for everybody else. So no one should ever feel that someone can say something and be it's okay. You wouldn't imagine a lady going like, "Oh, you got some lovely tight trousers there. I can see you behind for these trousers." Like you would imagine a woman say that to a man. So I mean, or those trousers are short. Like they're short shorts. They're not trousers. They're short shorts. I mean, it's inappropriate. Like
mm,
keep your opinion to yourself. If you want to have a discussion about something outside uh, being live or on cameras, then you have a discussion and have a discussion that's educating both of you. Not having a discussion where, you know, she feel like she says it's okay because really and truly she doesn't want to be mobbed by his clan of people that feel that his opinion's right versus her. Because really and truly, if you look into the histories of who's been there for longer or how women have been treated in situations like that, then a lot of the time a woman will back down from it because she fears what might happen if she says anything about it, which
yeah,
she should never be put in that situation. For me, I think um, he's in the same category as Jeremy Clarkson.
mm,
Very old-fashioned. Um,
yeah,
bigots. Just literally. Like okay, you may feel like you have a platform to talk, but you need to talk on a less big platform. What we need to do is find ways to unite and educate, and that's the
mm,
biggest platform. And you will get you'll get more views. You get people that won't watch the news watching the news because they
yeah,
feel that someone is there talking for them and not trying to sell them something like their advertisement from Tesco's or Sainsbury's. You know.
yeah. No, I totally see your point, and yeah, I suppose that there. I suppose all I can say really is, yeah, just continue to speak up more,
Yeah.
educate, um, open mouths,
Yeah.
be well, I wouldn't say like be nicer, but I suppose be if you can be more open as well. And I think with how do you put it? I suppose like with the generation today compared to the older generation, I mean, um, when the amount of surveys they've done in terms of like Harry and Meghan and stuff like that,
Hmm.
a lot of the results came out that the younger generation was supporting them, whereas the older generation were not. And I think there's obviously clearly there's a big difference, and I think with that, where obviously they've lived, okay, obviously the older generation would have lived longer, than they're living their lives through how they were brought up, whereas the younger generations today would be, we've all been told. I mean, we've said this heard this so many times, even from primary school. Say what you want, ask what you want. I mean, I ask about 25 questions before I understand one thing sometimes,
Yeah.
just so that I get it. But then, whereas I suppose sometimes with older people, it can be that no, it's this way, and that's it. Can't really do much about it, etc. Whereas I think I suppose with Harry and Meghan, they were kind of an image for them because they were younger. Megan's very open and strong and stuff like that. And I think if you bring in change like that, where you don't just have, sorry, either a woman on the side or vice versa, you don't have one person on the side, but you're literally together,
Yeah.
equal, and doing things together. Because they clearly wanted to do things. I mean, she's a patron for a charity that I volunteered with, and even just with her what she'd written in Vogue, she's very passionate about it. It's a women's charity as well,
Yeah.
and she's very passionate about being a patron for it. And same with what Harry does. He's very passionate about helping what you call it, helping the veterans and stuff like that, starting things like the Invictus Games. So it's not something where it's. I mean, within this time now, a lot of people want to do things, but I suppose probably just move, getting that step forward
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So I think that if there's more support, and I'm sure there is, there's more support from the older generation as well to take it more seriously for this generation now, that this is what we want to do. Like, because I see so many jokes and memes about where they put my generation. I saw one saying it had what's her name, Greta, the environmental
Hmm.
activist, saying my generation are going to start a revolution, and then below they had a picture of four soldiers from the Second World War,
Yeah.
and they put a joke there saying, "Oh, liar, my eye," or whatever.
Yeah.
You guys can't decide whether you're a boy or a girl. You don't even want to eat meat now. You even
Yeah.
cry and all this stuff. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's not really helpful. If you're trying to tell, if if we want people to speak up more, then seeing stuff like that. And I mean, the amount of work she's done, why would you there go and ruin it and start making jokes about it? I mean, you're always going to get trolls and stuff like that, but if you actually just support those that are coming up, because there's people behind them as well. And then also it's I mean, I'm in my 30s now. It's sort of my responsibility, or my motion, to inspire the generation behind me um to also lift themselves up, move forward, do what you want. Don't let things around you stop you from doing what you want to do. If your passion is to be a doctor, then go for it. If your passion is to, travel to the moon, then go for it. So we can say something.
Well, no, the thing is I think with generations is there is a point that's been missed, and what I miss is that each generation has got the point to change anything. So literally, where we might look at older ones and say, how comes they don't listen to us or whatever, we've got they've got the ability to explain what they have gone through and listen to what we've gone through, and then we would then together made change because we're able to listen to what they've going through, and they'd be able to make change, listen to our change by listening to us. Just like the younger generation, I think as long as you're alive, it's everybody's right to make a change. Like if no one, if an older person isn't saying that a younger person should be listened to, then a younger person is never going to be listened to by an older person. Just
Mm.
like the middle, and just like if a younger person is say listen to an older person, no one's just gonna have the same situation where, you know, like the youngers are gonna talk till they become middle age, and then the younger ones ain't gonna listen to them. Then they're gonna turn really old, and they're not gonna listen to the middle age. So you're just gonna have this repeat situation where going back to um, the females being underrated, it's not gonna change because no one's talking
Yeah.
about changing it, and not just that is that women will go through situations where they will not be educated because no one's sharing that information along. You know, you have to go and do research yourself. You shouldn't really go and do research yourself. You should literally turn on TV. The information be there. You know, each year in that category of that month.
Mm.
You know, or that week. Just the constant information, or have information there where you can find out more information and how important it is, or how important for everything to be. It's a bit like race. I think it's important for everybody to know a bit about race, all different sorts of race. But at the same time, it's important for anyone that's having a race from different races to be like, it's important that anyone out of this race knows about it and be open to teach and learn. Or we just gonna be in the same situations where we all gonna be in different categories, and
Mm.
and we all want change, and unless it affects us at that point in time, it's not gonna affect us. And someone's gonna make a run and joke about it. It's a bit like years ago when you look back at the TV, especially last year with the TV with Little Britain and the rest of it. People look back
Mm.
at it and go, "Oh, that was offensive." I mean, with when it was working, it was offensive to somebody. Like those that are probably were offended at that time, probably not offended anymore because they've seen it so much that it's like,
Yeah.
you know, it's a bit like old time movies where you had, people like people dressed as Indians, you know, like people got over it, but it should be an educated thing that, don't necessarily get rid of it. Just educate to do better, you
Mm.
know. So it's about learning about what could we learn from that's already been done,
Yeah.
and how can we bring it to the next stage, and you know what do women want? Ask women. Ask all different types of women.
Yeah.
Keep asking them. You know, like Black History Month. Keep asking different type of black people. You know, what did they? Um, People that have dwarf system. Like ask them questions. People that suffered with mental health disabilities. You know, ask if it's okay to ask questions. For one, ask if it's okay. Not everyone's going to be open to want to ask questions or answer questions, but you have to ask if it's okay. But the system that we live in, it should be out there so that the seeds being planted for there to have discussions. I mean, imagine how more interesting it'd be if you was working with your colleagues and you and the female and male people having a conversation. It's not a debate. You guys are having a discussion and learning about what it's like to be on the other side.
Mm.
Everything will be much better. So at least when they go home to their partners or whatever, they can then change the world a little step at a time because they are now transferring that information to somewhere else.
Mm.
Maybe to their kids, maybe to their nieces and nephews, maybe to their friends, maybe to anything. Even if you're talking to a dog, it's still, it's still sending some sort of communication. I don't know how much the dogs could take in, but um, it's that point where you fluently enough have it in your brain that you can move forward and make some change versus being able to harass a woman and think it's okay to the point where you know someone has to track you down to let you know that this ain't the right thing to do once you've killed somebody, or
Mm.
being arrested because you've gone too far of boundaries on, someone that's alive. There's needs to be there needs to be example and different levels, different levels.
Yeah.
Which I'm not going to off this subject, but it was nice. I didn't watch Loose Women, but it was nice to see that they had a panel of black women on there at a
Mm.
time, which is a statement. You know,
Yeah.
this should be a
Yeah.
panel of
People even tweeted that we'd made history today.
yeah,
Mm.
but I think there should be that year, and then maybe next year there should be Turkish women. I mean,
Mm.
I think it's a very empowerment thing. I think they should change it around because there's loads of women in this world. Why does it have to be the same sort of women on TV?
Yeah.
You know, there has to be a representative for everyone to feel it's okay. You know, and and to know people's struggles, which is really important. You know, just like there's a Top Gear, there should be maybe another thing based on women driving cars. I mean, like, there should be. I don't know if there is. No, it should be an empowerment
I
thing.
don't drive.
Huh?
I don't drive, so I don't
No,
know.
yeah, but I mean, no, like, if it was for you to know about it, you would know about it. You know about Top Gear, you know.
Yeah.
So I
Oh,
think
okay. Yeah. I see what your point. Yeah. I see what you mean.
it should be there, like,
Yeah.
a bit like, I think on football, I think football was played by females, more popular with females years ago, if it was popular with guys. It's just
Oh, okay.
you had some old men that didn't like it, and obviously the men became popular in it, and then now a few years, I can't remember if it's 20 years or 30 years ago, someone decided that okay, it's for females, and now they're playing catch up. Which, the way that things have been shown at this point in time, there's not going to, like, in our generation, there's not going to be a catch up on it, especially if you're saying that this person is earning more than some women are earning a whole year. I mean, in a week. I mean, there's no room unless you put a cap on it. There's
Mm.
no way there's going to be a catch up, not at all, because it'd be generations out. Like, there'd be like 50, 50 footballers from different counties going through, making more than a female does before that female even catches up to that 50. That's, I mean, it's insane.
Yeah. I mean, there's clearly a massive gap. I mean, there's a lot to fill with it, and I suppose it's just something that just has to keep getting repeated until something actually does get done, gets activated, or whatever. Because I mean, I know a lot of people won't stay silent after. I mean, not just because it was COVID, but I think with the amount that's happened just within this year, well, between this year and last year, um, is quite insane, um, and I suppose that has triggered people's minds. But I think I suppose you just have to again just keep repeating it until it just sinks in. Some people probably won't allow it to sink in, but at some point you are going to have to listen to it, because I don't think people are going to shut up now,
Yeah.
especially after all that's been happening. I don't think people will be shutting up now about anything, to be honest. And I mean, there's so much, like, you had a whole load of people quit from, oh, I forgot where it is now, but it's been on ITV London like all week, um, due to race issues and stuff like that. And um, I think that if I suppose if you just in sort of like workplaces and stuff like that, or organizations, um, there's more serious things like safeguarding, is it? Safeguarding,
Hmm.
which was passed out, which is meant to be passed out, or or sent to employees or workers or volunteers or whatever. And I think I was reading one for something, and that actually does that actually made me feel. I mean, I was already very safe there. I never questioned it once, and I think reading that actually made me think, oh, okay, that's actually quite helpful and encouraging.
Mhm.
And hopefully, when other people coming in will also, have that confidence of feeling safe, because there's help there for them, there's
Yeah.
support there for them. So I think that um, having that support as well, just even if it's just I don't know, well, we can't even touch each other at the moment, but even if you just put your arm around your friend or something like that, just to give them a hug. I mean, sometimes I put it on my Instagram. Just smile at someone today. You never know what a smile can do. Just to lift their spirits. And even if I get the worst look on the streets, sometimes I'll get people looking at me like,
Mm.
I still just smile at them. Like, I don't know what their problem was, but I'll just smile at them. Good day, sir. Good day, madam. Yeah, I'm thinking of sometimes I'm thinking of the film Oliver after they've sung um, Who Will Buy. He's walking on the streets singing the song and saying good morning to everyone. So,
Mm.
and I always think that, I mean, I know Oliver's a fictional novel, fictional musical. I love musicals, but it was quite uplifting to see that last week, actually. Yeah, I love that film so much, and it was quite uplifting to see it. So he actually does want to make something of himself. Like he said, even though he jumped into the wrong crowd originally and told them I want to seek my fortune, but in the end, um, someone saved him, and he's actually making a positive note out of it by helping the person, and then by helping the guy who took him in after everything. If you've read the novel, yeah, probably better to read the novels, get all the
Mm.
information. But yeah, it was really that's a really nice image to see sometimes, and I think it's just I think sometimes, I mean, sometimes we just have to loosen ourselves up a bit, I suppose, and just and yeah, that yeah, just loosen ourselves a bit. So, because sometimes I can even be really stiff, or sometimes look down at myself, and then I think one time I was like, why did I just do that? Why didn't I see myself better? Why am I looking at myself this way?
Mm.
Whereas I suppose sometimes you just have to step back and pause instead of like pulling myself down. Just step back and relax for a little bit.
Well,
And
I think you got to be willing to be the change. And that's what you've got
yeah,
to be. Is be willing to be the change. And you know, I mean, you're saying that's you, and I'm saying, I'm thinking, well, 80% of the time you're fine. 80%. I'm sure, like you might have had a one day, but at least 80% of the time. And I think the biggest statement for everybody is to be the change, because as much as you will say we should do this, or it's not we, it's those that aren't
mm,
versus those that are. You know,
sorry, 1 second.
no worries.
Carry on.
So everyone's you got to be willing to be the change. You know, and that's how things are going to be changed.
Yeah, yeah. Make a change, everyone. Yeah,
Yeah, make a change, like
whatever you
Michael
can do.
Jackson said.
Yeah, exactly. I, I mean, I try and upload like positive things. I mean, I think everyone's hooked on social media now. I mean, I've actually not been on it that much,
Mm.
as much as everybody else has. But when I upload things, I always try and put in either a positive message or positive hashtags, so that people can understand it fully as to why it's there. And so it's not just. I mean, I'm not really a selfie person anyway. It's more of my more of the pictures I've taken that I upload. But even if it is architecture, there'll be something. I mean, not everyone reads the captions. I get that,
Yeah.
but I'll always put something in there I'll worm it in there so that it still makes sense as to
Yeah.
what I'm talking about with the building. But even just a little caption on your post or a tweet or something like that, and just to uplift someone, because you never know who's reading your stuff.
Yeah.
And so I always celebrate people who are, speaking their voices, making a change, doing something to raise money and awareness and stuff like that. And it's quite nice to see that a lot more reports are coming through, about raising money, whether it's for like what Captain Tom did for the NHS, or there's a guy who's, I think he had an injury, and was paralyzed from the neck down or something. Sorry, from the waist down or something like that. So he can't do his activities that he used to do, but now he's getting physio and training to walk up. I can't remember which mountain it is, but yeah, up a mountain. Then he's also raising money for that condition, to get funding for the organizations that help with that condition and stuff like that. So that's when you see, I think, when instead of somebody just randomly doing it, if that makes sense, but you see somebody's, I suppose, with that condition or who's been through that situation, actually now I want to give back, then that there is a major help and a major encouragement. So, I mean, I always tried to think in my mind, what can I do about scoliosis? I mean, it's in the background, but it was one of my bags I made. So I'm thinking maybe to, if I can sell them, what can I do about epilepsy? So, I mean, the easiest start is just through uploading things more on Instagram, through the talents I have, which is, or the giftings and the passions I have, which is like photography, performance, dance, and stuff like that. So anything purple that's on my Instagram is to raise epilepsy awareness. Anything green is scoliosis, just so you know.
and on that note, I'm going to close this this part 2, and that discussion that you're just talking about now has to happen for another show, so you can then express how you feel about that and how you're going to make a change. All right. Thank you everyone for watching, and thank Amanda. She's always amazing, and I'm sure.
You,
oh, thank you. You make me blush.
This guy here is a king. He doesn't want to say so, but he's the king.
No, stop it. This is the queen. This is appreciation. Don't let her fool you with the amazingness of her. You see it if you look around Twitter. TikTok. You see her around, just popping around everywhere. But anyway,
he's wearing a yellow cap because it's a crown. Yes.
On that note, I'll see you guys later.
Excuse me.
I live my life, I do it big. Yeah, I love